Listen up, financial cowboys, because today we are wrangling a secret older than a tumbleweed in the Texas Panhandle. Ben Franklin, the original money mule, started with $1,000 and built a fortune that could buy a whole cattle ranch and then some. Now, $1,000 in Franklin's day might sound like pocket change to you, but back then it was like owning a fleet of covered wagons and a gold mine. Today, that simple stack of cash is a mighty seed that grew into a booming city's fortune. We're talking historic level wealth creation, cowboy style. You might be thinking, yeah, right, my grandpa couldn't even double a dollar. And you're telling me this guy built a city with $1,000? Well, saddle up, because you're about to learn the legendary compounding secret that Uncle Ben used to beat inflation, the tax man, and the naysayers faster than a speeding stallion. Compounding is like your money throwing a barn dance where every dollar invites a friend, and those friends bring more friends, until you've got a hoedown full of cash. The longer the party goes on, the more greenbacks pile up, no matter how small your initial bet was. Benjamin Franklin knew this better than anyone, warning that a penny saved is a penny that will grow faster than a buffalo herd on the open plains. But this ain't just about saving. It's about putting your money to work, so it compounds faster than a rodeo clown dodging bulls. Back in the late 1700s, Franklin put this principle into practice by investing 1,000 pounds sterling in a trust for Boston and Philadelphia, creating a financial legacy that would outlast even the sturdiest pair of boots. Those investments snowballed as he reinvested earnings, creating a fortune that helped build trade schools and public works, proving that patience pays better than a winning lottery ticket. Now, let's not sugarcoat this. Compound interest waits for no lazy spender, and inflation is out there chewing your paycheck faster than a blue tick hound on a dropped hot dog. If you don't start early and keep your money working over time, you'll be left watching others ride off into the sunset with your hard-earned cash. So, what's the secret sauce that made Franklin's $1,000 multiply into millions over 200 years? It's patience, persistence, and investing smarter than a fox at a henhouse convention. Most folks today treat money like a hot potato, spending it faster than they earn it on things that lose value quicker than a convertible in a snowstorm. Franklin, on the other hand, understood that time is the most powerful ingredient in the wealth-building recipe, and he let it marinate for 2 whole centuries. In the coming parts, we'll break down exactly how compounding works, the math behind the magic, and actionable cowboy tactics to build your own cash corral over time. By the end, you'll see why untapping the power of compounding is like wielding the lasso that tames inflation and wrestles financial freedom into your corral. Get ready to learn the financial secrets of the Founding Fathers and turn your hard-earned dollars into a swelling river of wealth that flows smoother than Tennessee whiskey. We are going to show you how to make your money work harder than a mule in harvest season, so you don't have to. Stick around because this ride is just getting started, and you don't want to be left in the dust. Let's get those dollars multiplying like rabbits in springtime. Welcome back, future tycoons, to the rodeo that turns pennies into powerhouses and patience into profits. In part 1, we saw how Ben Franklin planted a $1,000 seed that grew into a city-sized forest. But now it's time to look under the hood of this money machine. We are diving into the mechanics of compound interest, the 8th wonder of the world according to Einstein, and the only thing more powerful than a locomotive running on pure American grit. Most folks think linear, like walking from New York to LA one step at a time, which is slower than a snail on a salt lick. Compounding, however, is exponential. It's like taking that same trip, but doubling your speed every single day until you're moving faster than a rumor in a small town. Here's a simple math that will blow your Stetson clean off. Simple interest earns money only on your principal, but compound interest earns money on your principal plus the interest you've already earned. It is literally money making babies, and then those babies growing up and making their own babies, creating a dynasty of dollars that works for you 24/7. Let's put this in freedom units. If you invest $10,000 at 10% simple interest for 30 years, you end up with $40,000, enough for a decent used truck. But if you let that same $10,000 compound at 10% for 30 years, you end up with over $174,000, enough to buy the truck, the boat, and the lake they float on. That is a difference of $134,000 just for understanding the math. That's more valuable than finding oil in your backyard. The secret ingredient here isn't just money, it's time, which Franklin knew was the most precious resource a man could own. He set up his trust to run for 200 years, letting the magic of compounding work its voodoo long after he was shaking hands with the angels. Now, you might say, Cowboy, I don't have 200 years, and you'd be right, unless you're planning on living longer than a sequoia tree. But you do have 20, 30, or 40 years, and that is plenty of time to build a fortune if you stop dragging your feet and start planting seeds today. The biggest enemy of compounding is procrastination. Waiting until you have more money is like waiting for the harvest before you plant the corn. Every day you wait is a day your money isn't multiplying. And trust me, those lost days add up faster than empty beer cans after a Super Bowl party. Another enemy is interrupting the process, treating your investment account like a piggy bank you can smash every time you want a new toy. Franklin's trust worked because it was locked down tight. Nobody could touch the principal for a century, forcing the money to grow undisturbed like a bear in hibernation. You need to adopt that same stubborn discipline, treating your investments like a sacred cow that you feed but never, ever eat. In the next part, we are going to show you exactly how Franklin set up his trust, the specific rules he used, and how you can copy his blueprint. We'll dive into the numbers, the strategy, and the cowboy logic that turned $1,000 into a legacy that is still paying dividends today. So tighten your cinch, keep your eyes on the horizon, and get ready to learn how to build a fortress of wealth that no wind can blow down. If you want to ride this trail all the way to financial freedom, smash that subscribe button faster than a jackrabbit on a hot griddle, and let's get growing. All right, Patriots, welcome back to the Financial Rodeo, where we are learning how to rope wealth like a champion Bronco rider. In part 2, we dissected the compound interest machine, and now it is time to crack open Franklin's actual playbook and see exactly how he built a fortune that outlasted empires. When Ben Franklin died in 1790, he left behind more than lightning rods and witty sayings. He left behind a financial experiment that would blow the minds of economists for centuries. Franklin bequeathed 1,000 pounds each to the cities of Boston and Philadelphia with one simple rule: let it compound for 200 years and use it to help young tradesmen. That is right. This founding father locked up his money tighter than Fort Knox and told everyone to keep their greedy hands off it for 2 full centuries. No withdrawals, no emergency expenses, no midnight shopping sprees. Just pure compounding magic working its voodoo year after year like a slow-cooking pot roast that gets better with time. By the time the first 100 years rolled around in 1890, Franklin's trust in Boston had grown to nearly $400,000, which was enough to build a trade school that still operates today. Philadelphia's fund did even better, ballooning into a fortune that helped fund the Franklin Institute, proving that patience pays better than any lottery ticket ever could. After the full 200 years, the final tally was astronomical. Boston's fund reached over $5 million, and Philadelphia's climbed past $2 million, all from 1,000 pounds each. That is like planting a single acorn and coming back to find a forest of oak trees that covers half the state. Talk about return on investment. So, what made Franklin's blueprint so bulletproof that it worked for 2 centuries without a hitch? First, he understood the power of restrictions by locking the money away. He eliminated the single biggest threat to compounding, which is human impatience and stupidity. Most folks today cannot resist the temptation to cash out their investments every time they see a shiny new gadget or a vacation to Cancun on sale. Franklin knew that people are weaker than wet tissue paper when it comes to delayed gratification. So he took the decision out of their hands entirely. Second, he picked a killer interest rate environment. Back in his day, interest rates were solid and consistent, unlike today where they bounce around like a jackrabbit on a trampoline. But even in today's wonky market, the principles still hold: lock your money down, reinvest the earnings, and let time do the heavy lifting while you sip lemonade on the porch. Third, Franklin had a clear purpose for the money. It was not just sitting there gathering dust like a forgotten trophy in the attic. It was earmarked to help young tradesmen, giving them loans to start businesses and build wealth, creating a virtuous cycle where one generation's compounding helped the next generation compound even more. This is the cowboy way, building something that lasts, something that helps your kids, your grandkids, and their grandkids ride off into better sunsets than you ever did. Franklin was not thinking about his next meal. He was thinking about the next 200 years. And that kind of vision is rarer than a snowstorm in July. Now you might be thinking, "Cowboy, I cannot lock my money away for 200 years. I have bills to pay and mouths to feed." Fair enough, but you can still adopt Franklin's mindset. Set up accounts that you do not touch, automate your investments, and treat your future self like a VIP guest who deserves the royal treatment. In the next part, we are going to translate Franklin's 200-year plan into a modern action plan you can start today. We will show you how to set up your own compounding corral, protect it from raiders, and watch it grow faster than weeds in a rainstorm. Stick around because we are about to turn theory into action. Welcome back, Wealth Warriors, to the part where we stop admiring Franklin's genius and start copying it like a good student in math class. You have seen the theory, you have seen the history, and now it is time to roll up your sleeves and build your own 200-year money machine, even if you only have 20 years to work with. First things first, you need to automate your investments like you are building a robot that feeds itself while you sleep. The biggest reason most folks fail at investing is not lack of money. It is lack of discipline. They treat investing like a New Year's resolution that dies by February. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your investment account every single month. No exceptions, no negotiations, no excuses. Treat it like a bill you cannot skip, like your mortgage or your truck payment, except this bill pays you back with interest that would make a loan shark jealous. Start with whatever you can afford, even if it is just $50 a month. Because $50 compounded over 30 years at 10% turns into over $100,000. That is the price of a fancy pickup truck, and all you did was set it and forget it like a slow cooker making pulled pork. Second, pick the right investment vehicles. And I am not talking about a Ford F-150. I am talking about index funds, retirement accounts, and low-fee options that do not bleed you dry. Franklin's money grew at around 5% annually, which was solid back then. But today you can target 8 to 10% with a diversified stock portfolio. Avoid the flashy get-rich-quick schemes that promise 20% returns overnight, because those are traps designed to separate fools from their money faster than a pickpocket at a county fair. Stick with boring, proven, long-term investments like the S&P 500 Index Fund, which has averaged around 10% annually for decades. Third, protect your compounding corral from raiders. And by raiders, I mean yourself, your impulses, and your terrible spending habits. Franklin locked his money away for 2 centuries, and while you cannot do that exactly, you can make it really hard to access your investment accounts. Do not link them to your debit card. Do not check them every day. And for the love of apple pie, do not cash them out every time you want a new toy. Treat your investment account like a sacred vault that only gets opened in true emergencies, not fake emergencies like a sale on flat-screen TVs. Fourth, reinvest your dividends and earnings automatically, because that is where the compounding magic really kicks in. Every dollar your investments earn should immediately go back to work making more dollars, creating that virtuous cycle where money makes babies, and those babies grow up to make their own babies. Most brokerage accounts offer automatic dividend reinvestment, so turn that feature on and let it run like a well-oiled machine. This is the secret sauce that turned Franklin's 1,000 pounds into millions, and it will do the same for you if you let it. Fifth, increase your contributions over time as your income grows, because investing the same $50 a month for 30 years is good, but doubling it to $100 halfway through is even better. Every raise you get, every bonus you earn, funnel a chunk of it into your compounding corral and watch it multiply faster than rabbits in springtime. In the final part, we are going to wrap this all up with the big picture, the mindset shifts, and the cowboy wisdom that separates wealth builders from wage slaves. We will show you how to think like Franklin, act like Franklin, and build a legacy that outlasts your belt buckle collection. So saddle up, partner, because we are riding into the home stretch and financial freedom is just over the horizon. All right, Patriots, we have reached the end of the trail, and it is time to tie this whole rodeo together with a bow made of solid gold. You have learned the history, the math, and the strategy, and now it is time to talk about the mindset that separates wealth builders from those who spend their whole lives chasing paychecks like a dog chasing its tail. Benjamin Franklin did not build a 200-year fortune by accident. He built it by adopting principles that most people today have completely forgotten. Industry, frugality, patience, and self-discipline. These are the four horsemen of financial freedom, and they are as relevant today as they were when Franklin was flying kites in thunderstorms. Industry means working hard and smart, not just trading hours for dollars like a hamster on a wheel, but creating value that compounds over time. Frugality means spending less than you earn and avoiding the trap of lifestyle inflation, where every raise gets swallowed. Buy a bigger house or fancier truck. Patience means resisting the urge to cash out your investments every time the market hiccups or you see a sale on jet skis. Self-discipline means automating your wealth building so that your future self is richer than your present self, even if your present self wants to blow money on things that lose value faster than ice cream in July. Here is the big picture. Wealth is not built overnight. It is built one decision at a time, one investment at a time, one reinvested dividend at a time. Franklin planted a seed that took 2 centuries to reach full bloom. But you do not need 2 centuries. You just need consistency and the refusal to quit. If you start investing today, even small amounts, and you let compounding do its magic for 20, 30, or 40 years, you will end up richer than 90% of the population, who are too busy buying things they do not need with money they do not have. You will build a legacy that outlasts your belt buckle collection, a fortune that helps your kids and grandkids live better lives than you ever dreamed possible. And the best part is, you do not need to be a genius. You just need to follow Franklin's playbook. Automate your investments, reinvest your earnings, protect your corral from raiders, and let time work its compounding voodoo. The system is simple, but simple does not mean easy, because the hardest part is staying disciplined when everyone around you is living like there is no tomorrow. But you are not everyone. You are a wealth warrior, a financial cowboy who understands that delayed gratification pays better than instant gratification ever will. You are building something that lasts, something that compounds, something that turns $1,000 into millions over time. So here is your final challenge. Commit to this right now. Set up your automatic investment account, pick your index funds, and start feeding your compounding corral every single month without fail. Treat it like a sacred duty, like watering a money tree that will one day provide shade for your entire family. And remember, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is today. So stop waiting for the perfect moment and start building your Franklin fortune right now. You have the knowledge, you have the tools, and you have the blueprint. All you need is the courage to start. Financial freedom is not a destination. It is a journey that begins with a single automated transfer, and it ends with a legacy that outlasts empires. Now go make that cash cow work for you. And if you want more cowboy wisdom and financial freedom secrets, smash that subscribe button like your future depends on it, because it does. Let's ride into the sunset together, partner.